Jason Aldeon on Country 102 WKZR, 839, 63 degrees. We're going to try again. Louie Herron in studio with us this morning, and after some technical issues, do we have you now, sir?
Let's see.
There we go. Loud and clear. Yes.
There we go.
Best laid plans.
Yeah, we were chatting about the Dolphins there for a minute.
Yeah, we're talking a little football. The weekend kickoff, we talk a little bit about what's coming up for the weekend. Again, we want to keep reminding folks about the blood drive today at Oconee Regional. That's 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. today. Red Cross blood drive. If you're eligible to give blood, please do so today. That's at the Education Center at the hospital. Okay, yeah, we're talking about the first. We're talking about the Dolphins, the Falcons. The Falcons are 2-2 and got Green Bay. Dolphins just can't seem to get off the schneid there, huh?
Nah, they're shooting for Andrew Luck. You know, that's what we're shooting for at this point.
A little early in the year for the draft, but that's what's on your mind.
I know. Well, the way I look at it is this: if we can go 2-14 and get Andrew Luck, we may be okay. The two victories being the Jets, of course. Got to beat the Jets 2 times, and I think we're good.
Okay. All right. Let's talk a little bit about your business. We always want to remind folks about theautoschool.com. If you're thinking about what a great looking weekend for getting out there and kicking some tires, if you're thinking about that, go to theautoschool.com first. You'll get a lot of good information that you'll need. And, the process for some people is very intimidating.
It is. And just like Randy was saying, the theautoschool.com applied knowledge is very powerful. My opinion, you should never attempt to buy an automobile unless you really know what you need to know before you go there. And again, and a lot of times customers, when they come to a dealership, the thing they really hate is they hate getting a bad deal and they hate being at a dealership for 4 or 5 hours. So you want to eliminate both of those. Go to theautoschool.com because, quite frankly, if you understand what you need for your trade, you understand what the rates are, you understand what you should pay for an automobile, it's going to save you a bunch of time. The dealer's going to appreciate it because obviously we're on the same page. So theautoschool.com is where you get all your tips. And Randy, you're right on the sales process side. We're going to talk about that today, just the actual process and what are the expectations of customers when they come to the lot, from the initial meet and greet, when people are outside and you get pounced on by 5 guys or gals, or you're out there for 4 or 5 minutes and you haven't seen a soul. There's a happy medium somewhere in between there. So we want to get into that and talk about, what I believe is a proper meet and greet. And then we get into the needs assessment, which is that consultative point of view that every part of every sale, whether it's a refrigerator, whether it's a home, whether it's buying a pool, there's always that consultative part of it. But in the car business, Randy, when we go through, you'll be surprised that we don't get that same consulting that we should, and that's what creates some conflict.
All right, let me ask you this before we go further, and we're going to get back on this in just a moment. But if somebody, and we were talking about the Camry, somebody, if they come into the store and they say, look, I really would like to drive this car.
Right.
I might not be ready to buy this minute, but I really want to drive this car. That's something I'm sure that once you get them in the car, you're going to feel pretty good about it. But I know you have folks that they don't want to be intimidated. Okay, if I go drive that car, I'm going to be pressed that I got to do something now.
The customer feels that way, you
mean?
Right. Yeah. That's a shame because really and truly, our business is always about numbers. The more people you meet, the more people that drive cars, the more people that look at figures, the more people that end up buying cars. So for a sales representative in any industry, my motive, if I'm selling cars tomorrow, is always about let's just shake as many hands as we can. Some are going to buy, some are going to go home, some are going to think about it. The last thing you want to do, in my opinion, is apply pressure to a customer in any part of the process. That is what customers expect. That's what customers are afraid of. That's what created a bad experience last time. So I think as a sales representative, the last thing you do is pressure folks. If they want to drive a car, let them drive it. Let them enjoy the ride. If they want to look at figures, let them look at figures. If they don't want to do that, let them go home. Those are the things that customers really want to do. Now, with that said, if a sales representative does his job through the sales process, okay, we always ask for the opportunity to tell you exactly what it's going to cost, which is getting towards the end of the process. Now, whether you say yes or no is completely up to you. Customers have the right to change their mind if they'd like to do business. The day they walk in the store, they have the right to wait 2 weeks. So, and I think the sales process, the initial qualifications as customers are looked at by sales representatives, they get qualified. People judge them, and I think there's a big issue when that happens. But I also think the customers judge the salespeople, because I think when Johnny goes back to get the keys for the car to test drive it, I promise you the wife and the husband are talking about Johnny, whether they like him, whether they dislike him. They smell like smoke? Does he got slang?
Yeah.
They're qualifying, and they know right then and there if that's a guy they want to do business with, regardless of how good Johnny goes through the process.
That's a very, very good point. Okay, quickly, we mentioned the Camry. You've been in it When can
man,
somebody come by and drive it?
The camera's out there. We're actually waiting to get at least 6 or 7 Camrys so we can do an actual invite and get some people down to the dealership and have some food and just walk around the car without feeling that sense of urgency. But if you don't want to wait, I've got 3 Camrys on the ground. One's in the showroom floor. The car is absolutely stunning. It's aesthetically, it looks beautiful, but when you drive it, it's just all the car. And the price has gone down from last year. You if anything else, if you're in the market for a car, regardless of what you end up buying, at least come drive the Camry. Check it out. Get in the car. Drive the car. Don't feel any sense of pressure, but I promise you, when you drive that car versus the Accord or the Sonata or the Altima, I promise you, it's going to take you like that quick, and you'll know what car's for you.
All right, that's the 2012 Camry, one of the cars that you can go drive this weekend at Louie Herron Toyota on North Columbia Street in Milledgeville. We'll be back with Louie in a few. 64 degrees, 8:45. Here's George Strait.
A chance for showers. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist John Askins.
And 64 degrees at Country 102. This forecast brought to you by McDonald's. Right now you can get 2 Southern-style chicken biscuits for $3. McDonald's, I'm loving it. $8.50. And it's the Louie Herron weekend kickoff on Country 102. And Louie Herron in studio this morning. And this morning we're talking a little bit about the sales process. A lot of folks not comfortable when they start getting into the process of purchasing a car. But you're telling me that, and I've actually seen this. I've actually seen at a car dealership where I thought 2 salespeople were going to get in a fight when somebody drove up on the lot as to who was going to talk to him first. But you're saying the process is a little different at Louie Herron.
It is. But again, it doesn't necessarily mean it's right or wrong. It's just my belief that I believe that every part of the process, when dealing with a guest that comes at the dealership, whether it's sales or service, I believe needs to be handled in a particular way. That's the bottom line. So if you have that frenzy, that free for all, people, cutthroat kind of mentality, which goes on. I mean, it's out there. Again, some people would want nothing more than that because the strong survive, and you want people to hustle, and so forth. What I find, though, is although I worked in an environment like that pretty much all my career, and I survived under that environment because, quite honestly, you do what you got to do to make a living. I believe the customers is really what the focal point should be. And when you have all the sales guys focusing on themselves, which is a natural thing to make a living, the customers are no longer the focus. So what we do at our dealership is we have what's called an up system. And that basically means when you pull up to Louie Herron Toyota, you won't see 6, 7, 3, 4, 5 guys outside waiting for you to get out of the car to see who's going to get you. There's no smoking at the front of the building. There's no, we don't do it that way. We simply have an up system, which basically means that everyone's on a rotation. And basically when we come in every morning, there's a board, and you're on that board, and predicated on how you are doing for the month is where you're placed on that board. So what happens that I like is we give every customer 45 seconds to a minute from when they park the car before we address them, because I think there's a fine line between a customer getting greeted too quickly and then somebody waiting too long. Now, I don't know, even doing this for 17 years, I don't know what that sweet spot is. We just assume that if a customer's waiting 3-4 minutes without being greeted, that's a problem. And if they can't get out of the car because you're standing on top of them, that's a problem. So that's why we like to do it that way. But we feel like, also, there's another issue that goes on in the car business where, like my dad is a great example, and I've made this example one other time. My dad's a roofer. All right, still to this day, and he can buy what he wants to buy. But when he goes on the lot, and you see my dad come in with his roofing shirt on, unbuttoned, about down to mid-chest, hair poking out, and he's walking around in kind of his little slip-on shoes. You wouldn't think he could buy a thing, but he can buy whatever he wants in terms of a truck for the company or whatever the case may be. So it eliminates that problem, because when you can pick and choose as a sales representative who I want to take and who I don't, again, the customer's not the focus. When you're in an up system, if you're up, you're up. You have no choice. And the other thing is, it may be the only customer that you get all day. The fact of the matter is, we're not in Atlanta, we're not in Miami, we're in Milledgeville. So you may only get 10 or 12 customers a day. Well, we have 10 sales reps. So if you're greeting that customer and it's your turn, guess what? You're going to be on your P's and Q's, you're going to be efficient, you're going to be attentive, you're going to be listening, you're going to be very professional, because this may be the only crack I get all day to introduce myself to somebody. So, and I think that works well. The one thing in the sales process, I think from a consumer standpoint, that you may not know that you have the right to do, if for any time you're on a car lot, any lot, and you would rather deal with somebody else, all you simply have to do is go and introduce yourself or meet the sales manager. Let them know I'd rather deal with someone else. Some ladies that get on a lot would like to deal with a female sales representative, or any of various reasons. You have that option. If you're dealing with somebody for 20 minutes and you're just not feeling the guy or girl, or you're not, it's just not going the way you want it, and you know you want to do business there, don't leave the dealership and buy somewhere else because you didn't like the sales representative. And I don't want to put the onus on you, the customer, but you have the right to say, hey, I want to do business locally. I want to do it here. I just want to deal with someone else. So customers may not know they have that option.
Yeah, just always remember you are the customer. So,
You are the customer.
Right, okay.
So, and you're always going to be right. And again, if you go to theautoschool.com, there's a section about the sales process that's on there. There's tons of sections on there, actually. There's credit and new cars and rebates and hybrids and fuel economy and lemon law information, calculators, and all the manufacturers. Anything and everything you ever want to know about buying a car is at theautoschool.com. So, and it's not a Toyota website. I mean, most people that listen to me, Randy, know I own a Toyota dealership, but this is not Toyota driven. This is car driven. All automotive news, all finance information, all interest rate information, all rebate information. There's every link you'd ever want to know, from KBB to NADA to Edmunds.com. Everything you're going to need is right there. So, again, I reiterate, don't go and buy a car without knowing what you need to know. You can always reach me personally if you have any car question at lherron@louieherrontoyota.com. I'll answer any question and help you buy any car. I know just about everybody here in Milledgeville, and I know a lot of other people. So if you won't hurt my feelings, if you want to buy a Honda, I know the Honda guy real well. I'll set you up and help you if I can. And if you want a Toyota, that'd be great as well.
All right, very, very quickly, all of the problems in Japan, Toyota and other Japanese dealers are marketers or importers are ready to get that market share back, and this is the month to come in, right?
Yeah, we got the Louie-thon going on right now, so it preludes Toyota-thon. It's strong. $2,000 off any car, any 2011 you pick, anyone you want. Plus, you get your payments paid for till 2012. So you think Christmas and Thanksgiving's underway? It's a great time to get out of one car, get into another one. Hopefully, keep the payments about the same or less, and then at the same time, roll right into a vehicle and not make any payments till January. So it gives you a little breathing room, kind of our own stimulus, and then of course you get free maintenance for 2 years. Or 2 years or 25,000 miles. Put gas in the car and bring it to us. We'll pretty much rotate the tires, change the oil, do all the basic maintenance you need for the first 2 years. It's kind of a no-brainer, Randy. Really, it takes the pressure off. $2,000 off a car. You don't have to fight for a discount, And again, the bottom line is, if you come check us out, I promise you, I'm there every day. We'll take great care of you.
All right, so this is a great weekend to get in there, and we'll be talking more. It's the Louie Herron Toyota weekend kickoff on Country 102 WKZR Milledgeville. It's 8.